Welcome everyone, welcome to the third instalment of a keynote event. How exciting. So for those that don't know me, I think pretty much everyone that's on the call probably does know me, but for recording purposes, my name's Andrea Ross. I am the founder of the Career Establishment, Coaching, Training, and now the founder of Women in Recruitment Asia. So as you all know so far, you're all receiving a monthly newsletter that gives you an idea of all the events that are going on. Please have a look at it, because there'll be stuff on there that you may not be familiar with. We don't want you to miss out on anything. Also, we have the LinkedIn closed WIRA group. So if you haven't sent us your email, please send it to us, because obviously we can't let you know what's going on. And this is a really exclusive group. So you're not, if you're outside of that, you're not going to necessarily know all the events. Now, for those that are new, that don't know much about WIRA, I just wanted to really briefly go over what it's about. So we offer a number of services for Women in Recruitment Asia, which you've all signed up as being company members. We've got mentoring. Some recruitment firms are opting in, opting out of that. We have the WIRA Academy, which we are building lots of discounting recruitment programs and some freebie programs on there. So do check those out. Soon we're going to have a login, which means that no other recruitment firms can access it. So all the resources on there will be just for you. So we really want to make sure that's exclusive to you guys. We've obviously got events like this today, which I'm so excited to let you loose on, Jane, Jane to let loose on you in a second. We have obviously networking opportunities, which is today's all about, and we have lots of sort of free resources. Okay, so I really wanted to create a community within WIRA. So I want everyone to really embrace after Jane's talk, to go into some breakout rooms and talk about the key learnings of the event. I'm a trainer. I want you to retain everything you've learned. I don't want you to rush off and go straight back to work and not really kind of retain what Jane's going over. It's really awesome stuff she's going to be sharing. And I also want to say hi to the guys that are in the group. We've got quite a few guys. And I did this on the last session, which was, we really want to encourage the guys. We know it's called Women in Recruitment Asia, but we do want the guys to come along, because for women to be really successful in what they do, we need the guys to help. So I really want to encourage that. Now, I want to take a quick picture before I go and share my screen. I'm not sure if everyone's all here yet, but I'm going to take a quick picture anyway, just so that you know me. I love a bit of social media, don't I? I mean, you know I love it. I mean, I am a little bit cheeky in that respect. So can I just ask everyone to put their cameras on, just so that I can do a quick click? Go on. Hey, Smokey, Alex, Liz, Andrew, Meanie. I know Meanie. Hi, Meanie.
And can you blur your
Hey, Shin. Oh, I can see everyone. Oh, Andrew's out and about. Oh, where's he? Oh, Andrew's out and about in Thailand. Look at that. Fantastic. We know who you are. We see you. Okay, everyone, look at the screen. I want everyone to put their cameras on. Ben's all of a sudden taking his camera off. But we're going to do a 1, 2, 3 smile. So 1, 2, 3 smile. Yay! Great. Fantastic. Okay, right. Let me get onto the serious stuff now. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Joanne, someone's just tried to log in on the Goop. If you wouldn't mind just checking, someone hasn't got a link that's tried to invite themselves. If you wouldn't mind jumping out and looking at that, that would be great. Okay, I'm going to jump into my screen. Here we go. Give me a sec. Right. Okay. I want to let you know while I have you all here, what other events are going on. I ran a WIRA drop-in. It sounds like it's kind of a drug drop-in. It's not. I trust me, it's not. It's a drop-in where you can come and talk about any challenges you've like. Hopefully not challenges like I don't like my boss or anything like that. I don't want to get involved in those ones. But please come in and share any challenges you've got in recruitment. And I've been giving templates and freebie resources post-event. So please come along to that. Next month, we have Katia. He's an external provider. He is a guru on mindfulness. Samuki, I know you're in the audience. You'll probably love this one. Please come along. I think you'll really like it. And it's going to be, he's tailoring something for us. He normally charges thousands and thousands of dollars for his event. So the fact that he's given us time to share his wisdom for you guys to lead a really healthy life, I really would love you all to attend. So please do check that out. Okay, on to the fun stuff. Chat function. I know some of you guys don't use Zoom. Some of you aren't a lover of Zoom, as I am. Please find your chat function. It's either on your top tool or your bottom tool. And I want you to write, so click on chat, and I want you to write for me, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Everyone, so I know that you're using the chat. What did I have? I had yogurt. Coffee, my God, only coffee? Ooh, you're going to be pumped like me this morning. Toast, avo and eggs, egg wrap. Lovely. Nothing, Matthew, what's going on? Warm water, nice. Okay, so we all know how to use the chat function. Fantastic. Okay. Can everyone turn off their mute, please? I can hear someone talking. You know I don't like sharing. You know I don't like sharing when I can hear someone on. Can someone turn themselves on mute?
And these guys have been getting a really good start.
Alvin, can you find out who that is and tell them to be quiet? Thank you.
It's all right. Trying to pick up the lead here, Andrea. Briefing someone on a roll. Come on, say the company name. Say it. Say it.
So what is happening is that
oh my God, Alvin, can you please sort that out, please? Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, we picked up your lead. We're running with that job now. Whoever didn't put themselves on mute, they're all chasing the jobs now. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to go over the agenda. I've done my introduction. I'm going to be introducing you to Jane Chu. She's the Principal Practice Leader in Advanced Technology of Electronics for Connexus Global. I met Jane, gosh, last year. Jane, the months have gone, they're all a bit of a blur for me. And I spent some time with Jane, and I've got to say, I'm so stoked to have her talk to you guys at WIRA, because she's just mind-blowing in terms of achievements. And I don't just invite anyone as a keynote speaker. She's the Q1 top performer club at Connexus Global 2021. She was awarded the Team of the Month and Consultant of the Month multiple times at Hayes in 2019 and 2020. Not so easy to get that kind of status at a place like Hayes. Very competitive. She was awarded the China Elite Program for spectacular performance at Robert Walters in 2018. Oh my God, who is that person? I can still hear them. She was the consistent top 15 biller in Robert Walters China in 2016, 2017, 2018. So this is a high performing, consistent biller. So what she is going to be doing is sharing with you her kind of methodology on calendar blocking and task batching. I just love it. After her talk, we're going to be getting you into breakout rooms just to say hi to a colleague, you know, to someone else, one of your peers, and to discuss your key takeaway. After just 5 minutes, we're going to bring you back, and then you are literally able to ask questions and answers to Jane and to me, and then we're going to wrap up. So that is it from here. So I am going to stop share. I am going to now hand over the reins to Jane. Thank you, Jane. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Andrea, for the introduction. It is such a great honor to be here today. Hi, everyone. My name is Jane Chu. I work in Connexus Global's regional headquarters in Singapore, and we are a value chain specialist recruitment firm. I'm going to share my screen now. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, cool. So first of all, brief introduction of myself. So I've been in recruitment for 7 years now. I studied law, English literature in Beijing, and I started my recruitment career back in 2014 in Shanghai. I worked in robotics for 3 years and Hayes for 1 year, recruiting for Greater China market. And I currently lead the advanced technology and electronics for Connexus Global in Asia Pacific market. Before I go into today's session, I'd like to share, first of all, a group of pictures to you all. So, life of a recruiter. This is what my friends think I do. I am a social queen, and I can party every day and have a drink once in a while. And this is what my mom thinks I do. I'm holding a giant billboard and run on the street to strangers and see if anyone would like to change a job. And this is what the society thinks I do. I could still make money while I'm on holiday and enjoying a luxury lifestyle. And this is what my candidates think I do. You probably couldn't see the lines clearly, but basically all my candidates think I'm sitting behind a computer screen, sending rejection letters every day. But as a recruiter yourself, could everyone also respond to the chat box? To what extent do you agree? This is the life of a recruiter, what I actually do every day. To what extent do you agree on? From 1 to 10. Let me see your response. Yeah, 8, okay. Yeah, we all have a lot on our plate, don't we? Before we even know it, we have tons of emails that we have to reply to. And the CVs in the folder are piling up. And we cannot even remember what is the last time you did anything in the form of self-care. And you start asking yourself, do I even know what self-care means? So recruiter's life can be quite messy, stressful, and out of control sometimes. Lack of organization can cause a lot of unwelcome chaos. So that is something I want to help you prevent today. I'm going to share some of the advice that for those recruiters out there who really would like to make a change and might need some good advice to see the reality in this. So topic for today is time management. Does it sound like you? You schedule the time to do a task at the very last possible space of time before it is due, or before your boss make you feel like crap for not having done it yet some of the time. That sound like you. From 1 to 10, how much do you agree on? Yeah, let me see your comments. Yes or no? So I believe time management tips might look different to everyone. Yes. Fun. Yeah. So I believe that time management tips might look different for everyone, whether you are maybe a chronic procrastinator or you are a high performer. There are still going to be some of the good advice or time management tips for you. And we are going to unpack all that today so that you can try to figure out how you can better use the calendar blocking to go after the recruiter's life you want. And calendar blocking is just one of my favorite ways to go after the recruiter life I want, because it gives you so much clarity and control to get things done and strike your work-life balance. And you think about tasks that you do on a regular basis and putting them on your calendar. That's great. That's called calendar blocking, or and that is very basic level. But if you really want to be efficient and to be a top performer, you will take the ones that are most alike, those tasks, and put them together on the calendar. And that is called task bunching. So at the end of the session, I am going to show you, do a live demo to show you how I actually do it in my recruiting life. I'm going to share go back to my screen now. Okay, so can everyone respond to the chat box? Does your calendar look like this? Let me see your comments. (50-50). So what do you see here? You have random meetings, interviews, maybe client meetings, maybe some doctor's appointment, or maybe does your calendar look more like this? Everyone respond to the chat box. Right. Color coding. Yeah, I'm going to talk about color coding too today. So this is how my calendar look like, and it's basically the calculator of my life. So how much time do you have? And it's all displayed here, right here in the calendar. So in today's session, I'm going to talk about, again, this is one of my favorite strategies to go after the recruiter's life I want, the practice of calendar blocking. Whether you are new to this concept or not, I'm going to introduce you to some of the techniques and keys to leveraging it and how to become more effective, efficient. So if you want to be successful at the time management and have a work-life balance, recruiting life, we need at least 3 things. The first thing is a goal. You need to have your yearly goal, quarterly goal, monthly goal, weekly goal, and your daily goal. You need to have a goal with what you need to get done and break them down. So when we are calendar blocking, it's not because we want to help putting all the coffee appointments or doctor's appointments on the calendar. It is because we want to help schedule things that needs to get done. We are basically filling the blank space on the calendar with tasks and giving them dedicated periods of time to get them done. So those tasks need to be directly tied to a goal. Otherwise, we are not going to have any motivation. A goal is a dream, but with a deadline. Without a deadline, it is not a real goal. It's just an idea. For example, I would like to be rich, and this is a dream. I would like to build Singapore dollars 600K by the end of the calendar year in 2021 or 2022. This is a goal. I would like to place 2 placements per month. This is my monthly goal. I would like to get 2 jobs in on a weekly basis, and this is my weekly goal. So goal is very important. And the second thing is you need a calendar. Whether it is a paper one or digital one, it's completely up to you. I personally prefer to use an Outlook calendar or Google Calendar because I don't have to use a pencil or eraser so much, and I could work with my colleagues and they can see the tasks that are scheduled on my calendar as just as important as any other kinds of appointments on my calendar. You can decide which one is right for you, and that is very important. There is also one more thing to consider, which is the Parkinson's law. It says what expense are sold to fill the time available for its completion. If you say a task is going to take 3 hours, it is going to take every moment of that 3 hours because you've already programmed that in your brain, and you have to start prioritize accordingly. And again, unless you have a goal and you got to reverse engineering and exactly something amazing at the end of all this effort, here comes the point number 3. That is the ability to say no. So you need a goal and you need a calendar and you need to say no. Why? Because if you are focused on your goal and you know what exactly you want to get out of the anything. You will look at the calendar and you go, okay, what's on this calendar that doesn't belong? What are we saying yes to? And what is making us to say no to is getting to get this project done. And why is that call or that meeting or that event or that TikTok like black hole bringing or whatever more important to me than this goal? We have to say no to so many things so that we can say yes to what we truly want to work toward. And do not fall into the trap that, well, I'm saying no, and this is causing inconveniencing to other people. If you want to respect, if you want other people to respect your time, you must have boundaries. And do not be afraid to be ruthless about your time either. Your most precious asset is time. A recruiter's most precious asset is time, and time is fair to everyone. It will continue to leave everyone's bank account of life, no matter what you try to stop it. So get your goal, get your calendar, and start saying the word no more often. And you will find that calendar blocking works you very well and get a work-life balance, recruiting life. Now, calendar blocking now sounds like a pretty aggressive sports event, right? That involves your set schedules. But at least at the end of this game, you will going to win a very big prize, which is more time. And when you are properly calendar blocking, you are adding everything to your schedule. You need to do, you want to do, tasks, appointments, and even free time. As a matter of fact, I recommend you to use calendar blocking for absolutely anything that you can think of, as much as you are comfortable with. Because the more that you use it, the more you can see how much time actually take for each of the tasks and how much extra time you might need and how much, and that free time seems to slip away so easily, and how precious it is and how easily you just give all your time away. And it will tell you something that I will tell you something that I shared with my friend recently. Your reaction does not add or take away from any given situation. It adds or takes away from you. So now it comes to the sister strategy of calendar blocking, which is task bunching. So appointments or tasks, try to find a similarity so that you can do similar tasks at the same time when you are in the mode. You want to take time to make sure you are spending your time wisely. I like to do a weekly reflection on every Monday. And this is the moment where I look at my calendar and I schedule tasks and make sure that the time is benched appropriately. And I might need to reschedule things as I need to. And I prepare myself mentally as well for what I'm going to into for this week. So I believe you will realize how capable you are being very ruthless about your time when you start the day, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year on your own terms. I will give you an analogy that about the idea of task bunching. Think about your laundry. So when you do your laundry, you don't go to the laundry and just have one dirty sock or two dirty socks even. You are going to rush into the washer and dryer and to do your laundry. We need to think more like with our tasks and appointments, especially the things that tend to repeat themselves either every day or every week. what and how you do them like at a certain bunch of time. So what are the benefits of doing task bunching? The number one benefit is deep work. So it is very hard to get focused on something if you're never really all the way in it. Let's say I was writing a blog and I was checking my emails at the same time. And I was also checking, trying to get a phone call maybe from a candidate when it happens in half an hour. So I really have to pay attention to my call, to my phone while I was writing the blog so that I don't miss that call. And it's very tough for me to give that blog that I'm writing 100% of my attention if I'm not fully focused on it. So part of the reason of this whole concept of bunching for deep work is that you are not distracted with outside things that could keep you from being 100% in the thing that you are trying to get done. And another benefit is that your preparation does not go waste. So again, writing a blog is a great example because once you get started, it can be slow, but once you get it going and you start writing, and it gets easier. But just getting started is hard. So if you're going to try to write every single day, it's very hard. You need half an hour to 1 hour to get prepared. And that's not very feasible for most people. So once 1 hour is up, you might have to go to meetings, you might have something else you have to do, you might not be able to spend 1 hour writing every single day. And what kind of tasks, you might ask, what kind of tasks do we do task bunching? I usually do the main tasks, like, for example, replying emails, or I go social media like LinkedIn, I reply LinkedIn messages. I go out for meetings, I'll do them on a certain afternoon. And I just make a list of the things I do, and I match the most common task and see how I can be more efficiently and focused. So when we have all the tasks and appointments on my calendar, it's starting to get a little bit crazy and messy. So what do? Color code. So color code, we use different colors on your calendar to distinguish between different things. I have candidate interviews, client meetings, office activities, personal activities. And if it's something like a client meeting, versus like in blue, versus, let's say if it's a personal activity, that is in green. And I might need a bright color like yellow. So I get dressed and get my hair done and meet the candidates. Or if it's just a job briefing call and it is a soft color like a blue, or it's just the main stuff like you can do at your desk, it's also a soft color. So this is where the whole calendar blocking gets fun, and color categories can help you easily to identify the different tasks and do the follow-ups. Now, we are going to get into my, still everyone can see my screen?
We can see you. We can't see the screen.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you, get into my schedule. I'm going to show you, hold on a second. I'm going to re-share my screen now. So can everyone see my screen now?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. So let's get into my schedule. This is a Google Calendar. Again, I prefer to use it because you have a lot of appointments, a lot of moving around, moving pieces, and it's very easy to reschedule and also double check on your phone. As you can see, we already have got all these different categories: candidate meetings, client interviews, client meetings, office activities, personal activities. And I've already pre-designed all the appointments that are going to be in play here. I'm going to slowly pop them up, starting with reminders and candidate meetings. So you can see Tuesday and Thursday, usually it's my candidate meetings day. And this is my task or goal for this week.
Jane,
yes.
I'm just being a complete thicko at such technical things. When you went, I know you pre-done some of them, but if someone was starting from the beginning, can you also at the end give us an example of starting from scratch, like how you do the create thing, just in case, just so that,
Sure.
just yeah, if you don't mind, at some point during it. Thank you.
Sure. So basically, if you go settings, and here you have add calendar, create new calendar. For example, fun stuff, and then create calendar. And you go back to a calendar. It should, hold on. Add calendar, create new calendar. So again, fun stuff, create calendar. There you go, fun stuff. So you go back to a calendar, you can see, oh, fun stuff here. Basically, that's how I do the very first step, creating all these categories. Same as how I did for calendar meetings, client interviews, and client meetings. So I pre-designed the candidate meetings here. So it usually happens on Tuesday and Thursday. And then you probably have some interviews scheduled, that candidate and client interviews that happen throughout the week. And you should remember that maybe client meetings, like maybe it happens on a Wednesday or Friday, and you have weekly commitments on Wednesday that you have to do your business development calls. So I schedule maybe 10 BD calls on the Wednesday, and I do it 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, in total 10 BD calls. So there can be variables and might have to work around sometimes. You can schedule these meetings here, maybe if the client requested, and just moving, and then the interview might happen here. The most important thing is here, personal activities. So you can also put on your personal activities. For example, you can go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and probably you can go to your mom's dinner on a Tuesday night and walk your dog on Thursday, and probably pick up your laundry.
Quick question for you on that, with the on the personal side. Why is it important for you to be factoring in your personal tasks, activities into your work calendar? Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, it's very important because we might forget to, because as a recruiter, every day we have certain assignments, and we have certain tasks that we need to do, client and candidate calls. Sometimes you might forget that you need to you need to have a birthday dinner with your mom, and it's very important that you kind of switch that mode to this is my personal time, and especially I put a family day on Saturday so that whenever it's on Saturday, I know that it's completely off work day for me. And if let's say a mom's call called me on Tuesday morning while I was having a coffee catch up with Rachel, so that I can see, Mom, can I call you back on Saturday, or can we meet together and talk about things when we have your birthday dinner in the evening? So it's just, I know in my brain that I have all these pieces of time that I scheduled, and it's very important that you kind of 100% devoted yourself in that mode while it shows on your calendar. So that's kind of how I set the boundaries for myself. And it's very important that you put your personal activities. I can even put sleeping, eating in it if I wanted to. Sleeping, eating, exercising, picking up your laundries, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good life. So this is kind of my personal preference to have a work-life balance, but don't kill yourself over this. Let's say this is like some of the tasks that you need to do, like kind of CV send, searching CVs. Let's say if you are in the middle of searching CVs and you already designed 2 hours to do this, and you kind of want to have a break, just walk away and have a break. So you don't cramp your brain and so much that you just ended up totally overwhelmed what's on this plate, because it is pretty much full, as you can see. So question for everyone. What actually have you not planned on your calendar for this week that you are going to plan now? That's all for my sharing today. I'm going to hand over to Andrea now.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. I know. Everyone back in? Yeah. Can everyone just throw out, or anyone confident enough to take themselves off mute and tell us what one of their key takeaways were? Can everyone throw out for me? Go on, be brave.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in there, Andrea. I think the saying no thing, you know, and there's loads of things that kind of link into that, but yeah, just saying no to the multitude of people that reach out to you and call you, and you know, people that want jobs that might not understand what you do. All these people you've got to say no to. I think if you can kind of master that, you can probably free up about 20% of your time in a week, which you could use to do more much more productive things. That for me is a real key takeaway.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. I also think what was nice with James, just sometimes you have to park things to another time. It might not be that if you've got a goal for 2 placements a month and you're starting to do activities in the week that don't actually end up giving you those 2 placements a month, it's kind of always making sure your tasks lead to the actual end goal, because I think recruitment, you can be so busy with so many tasks, but it doesn't always lead to the actual outcome. Right, we have got a good sort of 10 minutes or so for question and answers. So we've got some already some questions that were already sort of sent to us already. But before I launch on that, can everyone just throw out their questions for me, please? Like, what was there anything on the demo that you weren't clear on, you wanted to ask a bit more on, that, you know, maybe you'd like to ask Jane now? She can always share the screen and go over it again. But, you know, please throw out some questions on what, you know, on that topic.
I have a sort of, I don't know if it's a question as such, but we were talking about in our group. So I personally use, we don't use Google, we've got Microsoft stuff. So we use Microsoft To Do, and I use that a lot.
and I'll schedule all my to-do list in there and then set reminders off the back of that. And I know it does sort of integrate with Outlook, but I've started using that more and my calendar much less now, because I just put everything in to do, and then I have it all set up. I can drag things in and I have my day kind of there. It doesn't necessarily block it out in particular time, which is where the calendar comes in, but
you're still using the calendar though, so you're using both.
I use the calendar for obviously meetings, but I wouldn't put a follow-ups and things like that. I don't put in there, because I just set a reminder either through our CRM. So Bullhorn just sends me a reminder that I need to do a follow-up at 2:30 on a Friday with this client or whatever. So because you can do a lot of stuff through your CRM now, so, and you don't want to be duplicating, right? So I wouldn't want, you're doing a to-do list and then you've got reminders set up on your CRM, and then you're also putting it in your Outlook. It's sort of a bit, you're sort of duplicating things.
Has anyone else got anything to share in terms of what, and it might not even be a question for Jane right now, but it might be just what's working for them as well, or a question? No, all quiet. Right, okay. The questions we had a few questions actually. One of them was, I'm going to read it out to you, Jane. How do you focus your time across providing exceptional quality and service whilst maintaining a sense of urgency? Jane, this is to you.
Well, I don't think we should compromise on the quality of our service, but we should be mindful. Like you do have a structured day, and you need to qualify the urgency of any event that happens across the day that haven't been planned on your calendar yet. If it's unexpected call from a client, unexpected call from a candidate, which happens a lot, you can just, kind of shorten the period and control the period of time you spend on, and try to reschedule and still being professional and polite, but control the time they spend with that unexpected event that happened to you. Rather, you control the situation. Can we reschedule a call tomorrow morning, please, at 8 a.m. when I am free at the time? I think most of the clients and candidates will agree and respect you in that regard.
That's good feedback. But when, am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute. But what happens when you've got a consultant that is feeling pretty pressured with all the KPIs? They're scared to kind of reschedule a candidate to the next morning or a client to later on because they still feel that that has to be priority. So how do you sort of prioritize what is important in terms of like a client or a candidate?
Well, again, it really ties up to the goal you set for yourself, that this client have an immediately job available for me to pick up, for me to build in this month or in next quarter. So everything has to be linked with the goal you have, because your calendar, your time will be tied up to the goal you set for yourself. We are all recruiting, but we are not, using our time for free, because our time is money. But of course, you have to use techniques to deal with situations like that, and really qualify for any unexpected or unscheduled events that happens to you.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's quite important when we're saying about the person that wrote the question on there about the quality that you're providing. I think it's also important about that qualifying to a client, right, in terms of kind of what is the service that they're sort of looking for. And I think most people on the call have probably got a list of qualifying questions and refining those over time, and also pushing back on clients that if you've got a client that you're dealing with that you're not the master vendor, you're one of 20 recruitment firms, the job's been out for 6 months, they're looking for a unicorn, and you're putting that as your priority call versus another client that you've got exclusivity for, you've done repeat business with on decent terms. Again, it's kind of prioritizing what you put quality and service to, right? I know that was a topic we're gonna do another time, Jane. What other questions has people got? Joanne, I know you sent me another question. I can't find the other question. I don't know where I put it. What was the other question someone sent in? So with the way our industry functions, there is bound to be disruptions and urgent matters surfacing out of the blue. How then do you cope with such situations given your strict adherence to your schedule? Okay, so something gets thrown into your diary, Jane. How do you deal with it?
I think the first one was already answered previously, that you kind of qualify the urgency of the matters. I think the second question we can address now. How do you maintain work-life balance with candidates requesting to call or meet before after? This happens from time to time, that maybe it's a good candidate, very qualified candidate, very stable, placeable candidates, but can only meet you after office hours or on weekends. What I usually do is, it doesn't really happen every day, but it happens maybe once in a week or once in a month or once in a quarter. So what I will do is I will schedule a Saturday and I'll just schedule all these meetings, all these requests with good candidates, but only available on the weekdays. And I will schedule maybe 5 to 6 meetings on a Saturday. And I will be working in a coffee shop on that day. And if you want to strike your work-life balance, probably you use one annual leave on the Wednesday to switch. That's how I usually do it.
Yeah, I like that. What other? Thank you for sharing that. What has everyone else got on that? I'm sure some other people in the group have also got some things that they can share on there. How does everyone maintain work-life balance when you've got a candidate, a client kind of calling you and wanting to see you outside of hours? What's been working for people? Can anyone else share? Because sometimes it can be hard having work-life balance when we've all got to kind of hit numbers at the moment.
I think from my side, it's case by case, right? So you have to prioritize. If it's someone that, for example, we've had one client, we're doing a project and they're based in the US. So we've had to do weekly cadence calls with them at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. And that's been running for like 6 months. So that's something you just have to do. And it's penciled in, it's blocked in, and we know that you've got to do it. But you do get those candidates that, and perhaps I'm a bit more cynical now than these days. I've been burnt so many times, but it's like, call me back at 8 p.m. and you schedule it in and you work around it, and then they don't pick up and things like that. So you really need to prioritize and see whether that is someone that you trust, and it's a critical call. Yes, I need to speak to that person at 8 o'clock tonight. And at the end of the day, that's just how it is. It's if you have to do a call at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. as a one-off, you just do it, right? There's no way around it. You just do it, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's not like it's every single day, case by case. I'm pretty strict with my weekends though, and I don't really do anything on weekends, and I very rarely. If it's a client or someone that I know that lives overseas, it's in town, I might meet them for coffee or a drink or lunch at the weekend. But other than that, I'm very, very strict. And,
interesting. I think everyone's so different in terms of how they're managing their time. Has anyone else got another question? I'm going to do one more question, so you have the opportunity, everyone. So what other question would everyone like to ask, whether it's me or Jane, even if it's outside of, or within the realms of that topic? Can you please just share a question or ask a question before we get onto the poll and I'll wrap up?
I guess, Andrea, I do have a question, or probably something that we can share. Not most of us here are married, but those with kids, those who have commitments after working life, after your working hours. So how would you, Andrea, I know you're a mother, so how do you manage your time, accordingly out of working hours? And also, adding on to what Jane shared earlier, saying no. So there are certain instances where you need to say no to certain candidates or clients because it is your personal hour with your kids or with your family. So how do we go around that? Have you done that before? Yeah. Have you shared this? Is there anything that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think it's a really tough one in terms of kind of managing time. I mean, I think Jane's kind of time batching calendar management kind of blew my mind, because my calendar is everything scheduled, but it's not coordinated in terms of the colouring. And that kind of, for me, is a really nice psychological way of kind of batching your activities. I know I don't do recruitment now, but I certainly train consultants to have that mentality that they can actually start looking at their week. I think trying to balance personal with work. I mean, I think it depends on everyone on what they do. I could start at 6:30 in the morning if it meant that I was achieving a goal. I'd work all weekend if it meant I was achieving a goal. I certainly wouldn't advocate that for everyone. But I think when you get to that age where you've got children, a bit like what Jane's put in her diaries, you've just got to allocate that time and not feel that it's a guilty thing to do. If it's picking up the children from school at 3:30 in the afternoon, it's got to be 3:30 till 6. So then maybe because you've taken that time out and you've not been able to do activities that you normally would do in recruitment, then maybe that evening it's 6 till 8 that you are calling candidates or clients after work. That we've only got a certain amount of hours in the day. And my advice to anyone still struggling with time management is listen to a podcast by the manager tools called Juggling Cone. I'll actually put it in here. I use it on my leadership programs, and it's called Juggling Cone. It's a podcast by manager tools, and basically, just really simple terms, is you've got a box, right, and that box has got a certain amount of hours in it, and we've only got a certain amount of balls we can put into it. Those balls are tasks, and so those balls will be playing with the kids, we'll be picking the kids up, we'll be sending a CV, meeting a client. We can't put any more balls in there. We've only got a box that's got this amount of time in. So we've got to be really good at being able to say, okay, if I go and pick the kids up at 3, and that, you know, I've got to take something out of it. You know, how do I distribute that time? And I think that was interesting with what Jane was saying, is that just trying to be honest with yourself that it is going to take me 3 hours to do that task, and how am I going to distribute that time and put it somewhere else if I've got to pick the kids up, or I've got, you know, I'm having a yoga class or whatever it means. But I think sometimes on the hours spent, we're not honest with ourselves and think, okay, it's only going to take me an hour to source for this role, when in reality we know it's going to take 2 or 3 days in the week because it's a tricky job. So I think it's just constantly going back to your goals and your personal goals, and trying to balance those in your week and month, and not be just looking at and being quite futuristic in your diary of making sure you're kind of balancing it. I think it's very difficult to have a perfect work-life balance in recruitment, because I think there's always a client and a candidate that you could be calling and meeting. But I think if you force yourself to work within certain hours, like what Jane was saying, really categorize your tasks. We all know there are only a few tasks that we do in recruitment, but we've just got to make sure that they all connect with the process of recruitment. I'm not sure if I've answered that question particularly well, but do look at that podcast. I think it's really useful. But yeah, my advice would be just always factoring in your personal time into your calendar, and kind of working through your recruitment activities to kind of fit and make sure that you still achieve your goals at the end of the week, and have a reflection point at the end of the week, like maybe it's Friday at 5 o'clock. Have I done everything I wanted? And have it midweek, so that I try and encourage consultants that I train, do your KPIs by Wednesday, because if you can get as much done by Wednesday, Thursday is about chasing clients on the CVs you sent. Quite a lot of recruiters try and pack everything in from Monday to Friday. But what you do is you lengthen your recruitment process, because you're chasing CVs with clients on the Monday and the Tuesday, where you've already delayed your process. You get in the habit of doing as much as you can in terms of sourcing candidates out the door by Wednesday. Thursday and Friday is calling the client and saying, do you want to meet my candidate? You're setting up stuff. So it's just being a little bit more looking at your task, batching it, making sure you're leading a really structured, but mixing it around, as Jane said, just being able to move stuff around when urgent stuff come in, and making sure you're factoring into your personal time, but being true to yourself, that you're checking in constantly of how things move, so you're always on track for that goal. Yeah, that's the right. Jane, would you add anything else onto that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't personally have kids, so it might be another challenge for me for my next chapter of work-life balance.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I want to say big thank you to Jane that put the time and a lot of effort to come and do the talk. It isn't just about turning up for an hour. It's also about doing the preparation and making sure that her time out of her revenue time has been spent putting a slide deck together and practicing and presenting her skills to you guys that she's obviously done for free and out of her time. So I want to thank you, Jane, and also to Connect Us Global, being a company member, but also, you know, everyone turning up today, and to everyone else that's turned up today. I don't want everyone to go yet. I want to do a poll at the end as well, because obviously every event we do, we want to learn from it. We do want to hear what kind of topics that you also want to hear. I'm just going to put myself in gallery view. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm recording this. I just want to make sure that I'm recording the right thing. Okay, so I really would love to hear from everybody. Please drop me an email on, you know, topics in the future that you want to come along to, or anything like that, so that we can make sure that WIRA is really relevant to everyone. But I want to just do a poll now. Can I just see that everyone can see it first of all? Launch poll. I'm just sending it now. A question. Can everyone see? Did you find the event useful in improving your knowledge? Can everyone see that? I hate the poll thing. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, I'm glad no one put not useful, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, perfect. All right, so just let me wrap up, everyone. Thank you, Jane. Really appreciate your time. It was awesome today. Thank you. I've learned loads. And I hope everyone else has. We have lots of other events coming up, so I really want everyone to please look at the WIRA LinkedIn closed group, look at your newsletters, look at all the training programs that we have. They're cheap as chips. They're ones that you can master your skills, so please look at those. Come to the WIRA drop-in. You have me answering your questions, and it's more personal. We don't record it, so it's really personal for you guys. So, and you can have your cameras off or on. We don't mind. Stay safe out there. And, you know, hope everyone's okay in the next kind of month or so with the whole lockdown thing in Singapore. And I just want to say thank you so much for everyone's time. Really, really appreciate it.